My name is Brittany Wade, and I work at Duncan Regional Hospital here as a medical laboratory scientist. On a typical day, I would come in usually about 6 or 6:30. That is when our phlebotomists have already gone out to the floors and they've drawn the blood from the patients for morning draws. And they are now bringing the blood back to the lab and giving it to us to begin processing and begin the testing. So I'm going to set up a test to test this patient's blood type. All the blood that is drawn in the hospital, most of the clinics here in town, most of the clinics in the surrounding towns, Velma, Comanche, Marlow, all get sent to this laboratory. We typically receive anywhere from 500 to 2,000 vials of blood per day. That would be an average day, so we could, at times on our busy days, we could have anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000 vials. Centrifuge is spinning at 3,500 RPMs, so really fast. And what that's going to do is it's going to make the cells settle down to the bottom, what we call a cell button. But this is a positive reaction. Now it's just a cell button and they're all clumped together. And so this would be a negative reaction because it's resuspending, mixing back together. So this patient's blood type would be A negative. Once we are done with the sample, whatever it might be, we would file the blood, we would store it. We store most blood for 7 days. For a blood bank, we would store it for 14 days in case of a delayed transfusion reaction or if there's any additional workups that would be necessary. Once that has passed, then we will dispose of it in a biohazard waste. When I go to micro, I will look at our instrument that performs our sensitivities, and I'll be sure to result those and get those to the doctors for their morning rounds. So based off of the color reactions, we can identify what the bacteria is. The bottom part of this plate is the sensitivity half, which shows us the MIC, minimal inhibitory concentrations, and then we can provide that to the physician. If you see a clear well, that means it's sensitive to that point, and so that antibiotic would cure that infection. I actually like to think of myself as a detective sometimes. I'm behind the scenes, still very much a part of the healthcare team, helping to try to find out what is wrong with our patients, trying to find out how we can help our patients. They had a patient come into the ER. They ordered a CBC, which is pretty standard testing, and there was some abnormal cells, which prompt us to do a manual slide, make a slide and look at it under the microscope to see what type of thing could be happening with this patient. When we did that, we actually found malaria, and that's not something we usually look for here. So that was an example where it was a pretty rewarding part. We were able to help guide the doctors that something they weren't even looking for or thought of, this patient was actually suffering from. We have several techs here. We have a lot of different scientists with a lot of different backgrounds that have different experiences, that have seen different things, so that we can all collaborate, come together for our patients. We truly have compassion for our patients and want to see them do well.